Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks. Today, looking at all that glitters. You guys are getting better at clickbaiting me. I was sent in this replay today by our very own Fire Jub Jub, who there was no text, there was no anything. It was just the title, and it just said communism. What could go wrong? Well, you know, my red, white, and blue-blooded American senses tell me that there's a couple of examples of where communism went wrong, but always excited when it comes out in Beyond All Reason, because this is certainly one area where it can have some interesting results. Looks like Dot has drawn out a helpful little picture here. You can see over here is the game plan, this is the strategy, and then over here are the finer details. We've got some of the overarching lore and a little bit of trivia up here as well. Very nicely done. Oh, and there it goes. Like a ship in the night, it sails away from us. A fading memory only. All that glitters. It's a fun map. It's got these wonderful little lanes that you push. It's a top to bottom, bottom to top type of map. And today, representing our blue team on the southern side is going to be Zerpy-Derp. As far as balancing goes, Zerpy-Derp far and away takes the cake at 50 true skill, Silver Chevron League. Yeah, just way above the competition here. And going for a whole bunch of windmills. We've got the the vehicle lab to start off here on the front line for our blue Armada commander representing the blue team. For the red team, spawning in the northern section here, it's Kritzkrieg. Kritzkrieg, oh no, okay, I thought I was misreading that there. I thought Big Pat was 39, but actually 29. Okay, Kritzkrieg, yep, rightfully the red heir to the red team throne. Dressed up in that brilliant red color that we've come to know and love from our leaders, and getting out a couple of vehicles in a vehicle-based start in the backline of the Valley's Marianas position here, the valley position, the mountain position, the Green Hill zone. It's a tricky one. This is barely a backline position because you're so heavily dependent on for supporting the player up in front of you in order to hold and eventually, hopefully, push out of this area. You kind of want to secure, like, whoa, not sure what happened there, but anyways, you're kind of wanting to secure an area like this, kind of lock down the outer edges of this and basically give yourself room to spread your units out. Because ideally you want a concave, right? Not sure why my drawing tool is going all crazy on me today, but you ideally want a concave like this, right? So you want to break out of this choke point here and through this choke point here, and you want to set up some sort of concave. Now, Videa, not the same as the Videa onion, I believe, but could be actually. Videa, I think, is Spanish though, so it'd be two L's, not an IA kind of a thing that's going on here. So maybe this is just Vajia, Vajia, maybe that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Sometimes that DIA can be pronounced like a J. I don't know. I have fun trying to figure out the names, but I also know that you guys have fun laughing at me trying to figure out the names, and that's all well and good. That's all part of the fun. Anyways, I'm curious where the communism will come into play here. Fire Jub Jub in the backline has gone for the bot lab and is dismantling it currently, so I wonder what we're going to be going for. Maybe some sort of an air lab, maybe some sort of cheeky shenanigans, going for some sort of greedy build. I'm curious what it's going to be. We already have Jeremiah going for the air lab over in this position. This is very commonly the air lab position. This is just where it usually happens. There's, in fact, I'd hazard a guess that it's probably what's going on over here. Yep, Nace has also Nasus? Yeah, maybe it's Nasus. Nasus. We'll go with Nasus because I think that sounds cool. It's like Dionysus, but just without the dia. Do my ramblings make any sense anymore? Have I gone officially completely insane? Stick around and find out. Hit the subscribe button down below, and you can watch the Fall of a Man live in 4K. Anyway, going for the air lab just as predicted, and looks like kind of not a lot of eco-greeting going on in the backline here. A lot of vehicle labs, a lot of production, which is cool to see because oftentimes it's kind of neglected, right? You just don't hear anything from your backline until 28 minutes in, and then you've either won the game or you've lost the game based on how well they did. It's kind of a weird, kind of an unhappy balance right there. Oh, X marks the spot where 1,250 metal will be shared. Ah, here's the communism. Okay, I see. Sharing the T2 lab, pooling their resources to get this T2 lab up extra quick. Usually T2 labs finish up around the 6-minute mark. This one is coming up way quicker here. Not only does the lab come up a whole lot quicker, but also the T2 bots are going to come out a whole lot quicker. Because that metal that is normally spent on putting into the lab is now going to be spent on the bots. These are 470 a piece, so they are pretty expensive. They actually do cost quite a bit. So that's very nice to see, some teamwork in the back making the dream work. Very, very cool. Are these built in range so that we can assist this lab? I'm going to guess so. Yeah, looks like it. Well, a couple of them are, at the very least. Yeah, okay. Nicely done here. Alright, so there's the communism we were all looking for. We will have to check back in later to see how it works. A lightning turret, I'm guessing. Yeah, lightning turret was built here. If you see one lone wall sitting around, you're probably not gonna be in the correct mind, or in the incorrect assumption that it's just a wall. What am I trying to say? It's probably a lightning turret. If you see a lone wall anywhere, it's probably a lightning turret. The blue team has a huge positional advantage. It doesn't seem like it, but when you look at the way that this map is set up, there's these valuable metal extractors. There's one here, the 3.2 metal extractor. There's another one over here, I believe. Yeah, this one right here is a 3.2, as well as this one over here is 3.2. As well as all these other ones here on the front lines. And eventually, not having those is going to be a huge problem. Interestingly, this lane is completely unpunished. Yeah. Giro trying to hold on to this lane, but actually does not have nearly enough units here. A couple of Centurions were built. I'd love to see these on the front lines rather than in the back. This is concerning. Yeah, this is very concerning. Giro is definitely in a tricky position here. Lightning tank's pretty good. Oh, Uninstall Life is surrounded by a couple of these blitzes here, trying to burst him down, but it looks like blitzes of his own will manage to keep the commander alive. Oh, medium tanks are looking for the kill, though. They smell blood in the water. I think they can get it if they push a little bit harder here. It's a tricky balance. Ooh, you don't want to lose everything. They do get the commander kill, though, and that is really, really nice. That's going to relieve a lot of pressure on this front line. Oh, but it does leave the front line open for a massive run by here, as now a whole bunch of blitzes have snuck past the defenses of Zerpyderp. They're not actually going to head into the base here of Guro. They're going to head into Zerpyderp's base itself, kind of a roundabout fashion, and this really starts to hurt here. Going to need to see units pulled away. Danger, danger, danger is called. Couldn't be more true, as that's enough blitzes to disable an entire factory at the very least. Gonna get the constructor. They do get the constructor. Very nicely done. Gonna take out some windmills as well. Might as well. Some green blitzes were pulled away to try and shut down this blitz aggression, but the damage has essentially already been done. The last thing they could get here is the lab. Oh, they might get it. Nope, looks like they will not. Very nicely done. Cleaning that mess up here by Vicebro. Well done. Alright, this is what we like to see. T2 has been handed out to everyone, I'm guessing anyways. It doesn't look like Big Pat was handed one, at least I can't see it. Kind of unfortunate, but at the very least the backline all received one, as well as Uninstall Life. He just hasn't noticed it yet. Currently upgrading all the metal extractors, that's all well and good. Hopefully going to go for a little bit of eco in the backline here. Yeah, everybody is just worried about getting those metal extractors up and running, which is completely fair. Those metal extractors are crucial. Oh, I see. We're going to continue the communism trend here. We're going to start up an advanced fusion reactor within range of both of these build turrets? Both of these build turret clusters? Yeah, it looks like it'll work. Alright, cool. We are unironically leaning heavily into the communism here, as much as we can bear to, anyways. Alright, very nicely done. This is an uneven contribution, I might add, between the orange and the pink player here, but very cool to see. Yeah, is this the new meta? Is sharing resources in the backline to get these buildings up and running? You can see that T2 is still nowhere near complete in the backline here for the purple player, or the green. Both of which still producing a ton of units, hoping to win this in the early game. But they're going to need a lot more damage done to justify this. They also haven't seen this eco going on in the back. This is a huge eco cheese, and for the time being, Big Pat has the advantage of not pushing in this lane, and so there's just a tremendous amount of pressure that can be applied all over the place. Commander goes down there for Zerpyderp, holding the front line as valiant as ever. Looks like Fury Hawk is looking to eat up that Commander's wreckage, and I think that's a good move here. Bunch of blitzes have run by and they've kind of swept through the map in this direction. They've taken out a whole bunch of metal extractors on their way, which is very, very nice economic damage. Is it worth it? 1.8 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Call it 11 metal extractors. That's going to be a grand total of about 22 metal per second. Yeah, I'd say that's probably worth it. The amount of time it's going to take to rebuild all those metal extractors, plus the cost of the metal extractors themselves. There's even one still going over here. Yeah, I would say that's probably well worth the cost of those blitzes to do that much economic damage. Bunch more build turrets were set up here from both players, trying to get this advanced fusion reactor up and running. It will come up in about a minute or so. Very nice to see. Oh, looks like a nuke chamber will be queued up here. Interesting. Okay. So that's the plan, is to go for a nuke. It looks like it's more of a uncommitted nuke. I think you could definitely get a nuke up a little bit faster. But, well, maybe not, actually. There's no geothermals on this map. That's really the easiest way to get a nuke up. But, still very, very nice to see this is coming up so soon. This will be, if it stays on track here, this should be a 12-minute advanced fusion reactor, a sub 12-minute advanced fusion reactor. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. That's a sub 12 fusion reactor is about the same time that usually I'm looking to get my second fusion reactor up and running, my regular fusion reactor up and running, as well as a couple of advanced energy converters. So this is really, really good to see. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think this is a really phenomenal play here. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing is taking this T2, since we're communisming, I wouldn't mind seeing this T2 going forward to Big Pat and either handing it off to him or just having it start to upgrade his metal extractors. Because Big Pat is going to start feeling the heat here as those T2 metal extractors stay down. Alright, advanced fusion reactor is completed. A nuke launcher is queued, and this is a Cortex nuke too, so it's a big mama jama. Yep, alright, communism underway. Oh, okay, interesting. We're gonna divide and conquer a little bit here. They're using communism, but they're working on separate projects here. Looks like Dot Dot is gonna go for another advanced fusion reactor, while Fire Jub Jub is gonna be the one financing the nuclear arms research. Very cool to see. Love seeing this teamwork. That's one of the huge advantages of this game, is the fact that there's so many teammates. You really can do some pretty interesting stuff. Very, very cool to see. Big bombing run is organized here. You know, that's one disadvantage of building a fusion reactor so soon is, yeah, you become a huge target. Fusion reactors, obviously, pretty much the best target that you can go for. Oh, the bombers don't know, though. Yeah, the bombers are unaware of the fusion reactor in the backline, so they're just going after these windmills. They certainly should turn and run towards those advanced fusion reactors. Oh, are they going to see it? Oh, they will. They'll spy the advanced fusion reactors. Oh, why we're not bombing it? Why we're not bombing it? Okay, taking down the build power. That's pretty good. Oh, the flat comes up just before the the flat comes up rather just before the bombs can take out the build power. Very, very close call right there, but the bombers will be shut down. Wow, that was a close one. Nuclear launcher has arrived, though. It's going to be a while before it finishes up, but it has been spotted, which means that these guys should start up their anti-nukes. There's Raging Quail starting up his. It's a priority. It is not a you know, something that you can afford to relax about. You need to get that nuke launcher, or that anti-nuke launcher rather, up and running ASAP. The ecos are now stressed here, as that nuke launcher is quite expensive. It also takes down a 1,000 energy cost per second toll. It's very, very expensive. Luckily, these energy converters didn't die over here. That's quite fortunate. Very nicely done between these two, though. I love to see the teamwork coming out to play. All that the front line has to do is hold. If this nuke launcher can get a solid connection somewhere on the map, then they've essentially gotten tremendous value out of this teamwork. Oh, looks like a commando death went on over here. Went down, threw down. as the dust clears. I tried to say dust and smoke at the same time. I ended up with doke. Sound like Homer Simpson. Dope. Graham's commander has gone down here, but it has opened the pathway for these bulls to march on forward. Those are the T2 heavy assault tank, and they're difficult to deal with. Kritzkrieg's commander is in a nice little position here, going to be going for the D-gun, I imagine. Yep, nicely done. Gets three of the tanks with 2 D-guns. That is a excellent job there. One of the most efficient ways to deal with those. I mean, I suppose the most efficient way of dealing with those. 1 shot, 1 kill. Now the pressure has been laid on thick here, though. Big Pat, rather. Not Big Pot. I'm getting the names all twisted today. Big Pat is under quite a lot of trouble here, under quite a lot of duress, as some medium tanks roll into his backline, start dismantling whatever forces he can muster in opposition. Centurions are decent, they're very slow though, and it makes for an easy target for those tanks to lob their plasma projectiles against. Meanwhile, the Blitz is also ravaging the sidelines here, pushing into the back, trying to take out Raging Quill's economy. Raging Quill's still not done with that anti-nuke, and this is getting a little bit concerning. Those anti-nukes are not coming up soon enough. This nuclear launcher has been spotted, and so I have a feeling they're probably just going to launch it as soon as possible. Wasn't anti-nuke finished over here? It looks like an anti-nuke was finished for Zerpyderp, and another one was... Did I see another outline here? No, I guess it's just Zerpyderp. Zerpyderp, the only one with a successfully built anti-nuke here, but the pressure on the front lines is now caving as he went for that anti-nuke, but now there's nothing, no units, no future, no hope, dry lips. Everything is looking down. Tons and tons of these medium tanks start rolling on in from both directions here. A little bit of a Zerpyderp sandwich, and the damage is done. Well, not done yet. It will be done. I hope. Really should be targeting the build power here more than anything. You know, I stand corrected. The damage was not done. Anyways, the nuke is out and about, and here it comes. The nuclear arms race has hit its peak, and there goes 2 of the backline players, completely annihilated in a single blast. It's one of the things that I love about this game is the fact that the nukes feel so substantial. Go Gadget, rebuild him. Yeah, it might be more than a Go Gadget. Nace says no one eco. Yeah, nobody ecoed quite as hard as they did in the backline here. Obviously, you can tell that when you don't see units coming out from 2 of the colors here. But yeah, nobody was ecoing for the blue team nearly as hard as they were ecoing for the red team. And so what you see here is the imbalance of there was tons and tons of T1 available for the blue team, but it didn't get enough damage done. And now we are seeing that backlash hard. Go Gadget, rebuild him. That's so funny. Alright, anti-nuke is charged now for Zerpyderp. It's going to be a good long while before another nuke is ready here. Those Cortex nuke launchers, they take forever. Minus 9% reload speed is quite nice, though. It is eventually going to help. It's just going to take a while. Anti-nuke is still not done for Raging Quill. It'll just finish up here in a second or 2. Yeah, going for the fusion reactor as well as the anti-nuke at the same time is a risky proposition. Not a spot that I would want to be in, personally. Anti-nuke is also finished here for Floggen. And it's going to be a race to get that second nuke across the map. It looks like it is almost charged. It's 3/4 of the way done, but it takes forever on these Cortex nukes. The whole idea behind the Cortex nukes is, you know, fire and forget. You basically want to throw these things in the most damaging location possible, but it also makes it extremely mandatory that you target the right areas. Following this thin red line, and it looks like it's headed directly into the base of Floggen. Falcon does have the anti-nuke up though, and it is just a second away from having one charged. I think it will be charged before the nuke has the chance to launch. It's pretty close though. Certainly if that anti-nuke chamber had been just a half a minute behind here, it would have been way too slow, and yeah, nuke might have snuck through here. Fortunately, the anti-nuke bubble will be complete. T2 metal extractor is coming up here for Zerberderp, who is forced to eco his heart out here to try and recuperate in this match. There's basically no other way to get back into this game other than to eco as hard and as fast as possible, and so that's what he's doing, going all the way into an advanced fusion reactor. Wouldn't even mind seeing these regular fusion reactors being eaten up one by one, just to fund the advanced fusion reactor. It's a very quick way to step yourself into that T2 game. Nuke is launched, anti-nuke shoots up to meet it, and an airburst will occur. There we go. Nicely done. The nuclear arms race has come to a halt. Now, there's still some decent targets. You could certainly put down a nuke. Let me select the nuke so we can see the attack range here. You could certainly put down a nuke right around here, wipe away a whole lot of Vadea's or Vajja's base, however it's supposed to be pronounced. You could also put it down right over here. I think this is probably the target that I would go for. Wipe out all of the static defenses here, and what that is going to do is open up this lane. Not that it's not already open. You can see that there's a huge open attack path. Basically, any of these players have the opportunity to sweep on through here into the back line like this, as you can see by these tanks that are currently ravaging Guro's, well, commander at the moment. I was going to say base, but yeah, they're just taking out the commander. Why not? Yeah, get the commander kill. One of the only constructors left at the moment. There's a couple over here, but yeah, the commander's looking real shallow, and down it goes. Very nicely done. Getting a huge amount of work out with these medium tanks here, really liking that. Fire Jub also being sure to contribute to the front lines now, getting a couple of Sheldon, more than a couple actually, 14 Sheldon, not to be underestimated. I would love to see a radar and radar jammer bot included in this, but I think for now, mostly just worried about the Sheldon. Okay, yeah, we do have radar and radar jammers mixed in here, but getting the economy up and running is probably what's mostly on the mind. Mauser are out. I recognize that sound anywhere. The sound of heavy artillery. Never a sound you want to hear coming towards you, but always a lovely sound to hear headed away from you. Those Mauser pack a wallop. They really can do a huge amount of damage, and it's yeah. I mean, they're one of those units that once they get into numbers and once they start firing in waves and droves and rows and volleys, they are really tough to stop. Zerberderp desperately needs to eat up these fusion reactors. Actually, you know what? I spoke a little too soon. He desperately does not need to eat up these fusion reactors. They are actually doing a great job. There's basically no stall on anything. There's no stall on energy, no stall on metal at the moment. So, yeah, for the time being, I guess actually this is looking a-okay. Zerberderp trying his absolute best to claw him and his team back into this game here. Yeah, this fusion reactor is never going to come up. Just a single T2 constructor with a console here. Combined build power of like 400 or something. Yeah, build power of 250 plus a build power of 150. If I do the quick maths, I think it comes out to 400. That was a guess, by the way. That was just a really good guess. I would like to note. Now, there is a nuke launcher still out, and this army is starting to bunch up. I have to say, this would be a really good opportunity to nuke 4 armies all in once here. Are we going to see it? The nuke is charged. Looks like Fire Jub is mostly just interested in getting a whole lot of eco up and running. A whole lot of fusion reactors, advanced fusion reactors, I should say. Should specify there. There is a difference. Also, a tech transition away from the T2 Cortex bots and into the T2 Armada vehicles. Interesting. I wonder what prompted that decision. I wouldn't have minded the T2 Cortex bot lab stays around and actually just using it to build Fiends and maybe a couple of Scuttles. Those are always a really fun strategic option. These advanced fusion reactors coming up is very expensive, but we do have the metal for it, at least currently. Also, some Junos were produced. That's very nice. That's a good foresight to build those Junos in case somebody decides to start spamming ticks in an unfortunate place. T2 Air Lab is out, and it's going to be used to, at the meantime, produce fighters. Wouldn't be surprised if we go for something a little cheeky here eventually. Also some radar sonar planes. Always good to see. Fighters are the name of the game right now, though. As soon as Zerbuderp runs out of metal here, though, I want to see these fusion reactors eaten up. No reason to keep these around when you're already going up to advanced fusion reactor tech. There we go. As if on cue. I promise this game is not live. I'm not in a voice call with Zerbuderp. I know what should be done. I know what must be done, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Well, the strength to do it is in the build powers here, the build turrets here. Eating up these fusion reactors, and there are going to be a nice influx of about 4,000 metal each time that one of those is eaten up. It's going to be very, very useful for finishing up fusion reactors. You're going to be able to expand the economy super, super quickly. It's all exponential, right? The more fusion reactors you build, the more fusion reactors you can build, and everything just speeds up super quickly. Nuke would be beautiful right about now. If we placed a nuke right here, or a nuke in this this little choke point over here, both of which would result in a devastating effect. This is a dangerous line. Sheldon, protected by Mauser, all enforced by a bunch of medium tanks. That's a dangerous composition right there. Certainly one worth being wary of. Now, the Starlight Mauser Bull composition is not one to be scoffed at either. Certainly those Starlights, yeah, they can burst away from a huge, huge distance. I wonder who has more range, the Mauser or the Starlight. Looks like the Starlight has more range by 10. Whoa, just barely missed it, but a nuke did come down here, wiping away all of the army here for the blue team, and now the front will begin to fall. Yep, there it is. There's the nuke we were dreaming of. And yeah, these bulls marching forward is, well, they're going to be shut down, a lot of them, by the Starlights, but it won't really matter because the floodgates have opened. Kritzkrieg is now flooding units into the backline here, shutting down some of the production, some of the windmills, some of, well, everything here for the frontline player, Vaja. There's now ticks getting all up in the Mauser's grill as well. Difficult to reason with a tick. All it really wants is death and destruction. Oh, interesting. Second nuke came down over here. Very interesting. I guess that was to wipe out all of the welders that were guarding this area, but I would have expected the nukes to come down over here instead. Using those Junos as well to launch Juno missiles all over the map, shut down whatever they can. A little bit of friendly fire as those Juno missiles take out some of the ticks that are swarming forward by Kritzkrieg, but I'm sure he doesn't mind. He's happy to have those Junos taking out the radars as well as any enemy ticks that might be swarming up, although that's not really something the blue team is going for here. The blue team needs to do something desperately. It looks like Zerbuderp tried his hardest, but there's just not enough units at the moment. And now he has no way of pushing back here. There is some static defense. We do have a Tachyon accelerator, the Pulsar. Very heavy defense turret from the Armada faction here. Oh, but it looks like the blue team has decided to tap in. They realize there's not a whole lot left as the red team continues to swarm them at every angle. And it will not be long before all of their front lines fall to the overwhelming firepower. Who knew? Communism works. Communism works. It's really interesting because it means that you get a advanced fusion reactor up and running, and so if you think of it in terms of like a team versus team economy, you're gonna spike your team's economy a whole lot quicker than the enemy team's economy. Your own individual economy is not gonna look great, not for a while, but eventually it's gonna pay off. And yeah, you can see the two top leaders, Dot Dot and Fire Jub Jub, working together here, and yeah, they managed to scale their economies in tandem to eventually overwhelm everyone. Speeding up this game, turning what usually takes 40 minutes into 28 minutes. I think they've definitely got something here. I think there's definitely a meta to be found around doing a little bit of communism as a treat in the backline. Anyways, as always, I'm happy to hear what you guys have to say about that. I'm sure there will be some community input, and I'm going to be thrilled to hear it. Love to hear from you guys down below. Feel free to like and subscribe as well if you enjoyed the videos and you want to see more of these every day. I do post a new one. Anyways, that's all for me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.